All right, it says I'm live. How's it going, guys? Happy Friday. Hope everyone's doing good today. Last time I had a guest on my stream and didn't really get a chance to say hi to you guys too much because, well, I wanted the constitutional attorney to talk about the Supreme Court decision in Michigan as much as she could, and I think it was a great stream. It was very inspirational for me. I don't know about you guys, but Catherine's always an inspiration. It's awesome having her fight for our God-given rights, not given to us by government whatsoever, not legitimately taken from us by government, but boy, oh boy, they've sure been doing it in Michigan. The governor of Michigan, we'll talk about her in just a little bit. There's always tons of subject matter on her. And as you guys know, I'm no fan. But first of all, I'm going to say hi to you guys. And I'm going to see Catherine again tomorrow. So I'll follow up with her just a little bit more on some questions that you guys had from the last stream, which were great questions. And I know she's been able to do a lot more research since we met just a couple days ago on this channel. Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy, how's it going, man? Daniel DeLeon, what's up? He's saying, I'm in New Mexico. I definitely didn't vote for her. Well, let me tell you guys something. I'm in Michigan. And I promise you, I definitely 100%. Is there a number bigger than 100%? Okay. 101% did not vote for her either. So that's something me and Daniel definitely have in common. We got Bill Alexander from Port Huron. What's happening, dude? Thomas Double X. What's up? John Beers. Pillbox. How you doing, man? You changed your avatar. You're messing with me, man. Is that the real Pillbox? Someone check and make sure. He's changed his avatar. How's it going, buddy? Rusty Williams. What's up, man? Chuck R. Checking for the tea. You know what? I just finished my tea and the rest of it's up front. I'm drinking coffee right now, so sorry to disappoint. But I do want some iced tea, and I'll have some as soon as I'm done tonight. Guerrero M, what's happening, dude? How you doing? Daniel DeLeon, crazy what the FBI says happened. Yeah, lots of crazy stuff going on in Michigan right now, guys. I'm going to talk about it in just a little bit here. Rather say hi to you guys for now, though, because you guys are kind of why I'm here, right? Stephen Kennedy, what's up? Check this out, Stephen. He said, just picked up the CAA. It's the MCK 2.0 advanced kit. Dude, so did I. I ordered it on a pre-order. I had to wait like 4 weeks for it, which sucks, but check it out. They said promo pricing. I only spent like $260 on it, and now I see the kit's like $430. So guess what I did? It's like you're reading my mind, dude. I literally recorded the unboxing of the kit itself, all the accessories that come with the Advance. Then I put my P80 G19 variant inside of it and recorded that. So I just need to do a touch of editing to that, just splicing it together basically, and get that up on the channel. So yeah, dude, it's pretty cool, isn't it? I looked at those for years and I'm like, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, by the time it came together on their Gen 2, especially now that it fits the P80 Glocks, man, it's actually really, really cool. And I'm really excited about it. Now, as quickly as, Steven and I here are excited about our new little chassis pistol brace get up, the ATF's at it again. Imagine that. Government bureaucrats, unelected, they're at it again. So we'll talk about that a little bit tonight too, if you guys want to. Why not? No shortage of stuff to complain about, no shortage of stuff to talk about, but there's some good stuff going on, and we'll try to talk about that too. Let's see here. JDV3, what's up, man? We've got Moises, how's it going? Krusty Mud Racer, what's happening? Okay, he's here. We can start now. Come on, man. Why did Joe Biden take that saying? I'm going to use it anyways because I'm no fan of him, who I also will definitely not be voting for. IROC SS85. What's up, man? Stephen Kennedy, GOA all the way. Yes, sir. I totally agree. By the time I get done knocking all my stuff off the shelf here, hold on. Let me get my camera back. There we go. All right. Gun Owners of America. I do support the organization. I'm a member. Have been for a long time. Now you guys can see Lamy. All right. We're good to go. We're officially good to go. Lamy's in the chute. We're good. All right. GR Brown, what's happening? Has anyone refreshed the federal site over and over again? Yes, many people have. I've gotten reports from a few people. One guy said 5:30 a.m. they posted a bunch of the 100-round FMJ boxes for around $40, something like that. 15 minutes later, he reported they were sold out. Several stories along those lines, guys. So yes, from what I understand, they've been posting it, as you viewers have been telling me. It's tough, though. It's real tough. It just keeps selling out. And look, guys, I don't say this is doom and gloom. Like, I couldn't create the ammo shortage if I wanted to. Although it's hilarious, some of the comments that I get, and I read some of them to you last week. 2AEDU bought 4 boxes of federal ammo, they said, that I didn't technically need. But I always need ammo for the show, right, for my videos. I bought it so that I could experience it with you guys, because I didn't want to be like a lot of YouTubers that are just like, don't worry about it, I've got enough. If you don't have it, so long, sucker. I don't think that way. I've talked about this before. I think that if you have 1 million rounds and you worked hard for it and you have it and that's what you paid for and you want it, you can have it, because this is America. But at the same time, just because someone just now got either old enough, to buy their first gun, or they just came around mentally to exercising their Second Amendment rights, which they had the whole time, and they're always free to exercise them or not. That's just the way this works. But they just now decided to exercise, right? Well, of course they're going to go out and get their first rounds of ammo. And why the heck would have they stockpiled since 1994 if they just bought their first gun? So I wanted to be right there with you guys, okay? So I did. I bought the ammo, paid too much for it, some would say, even though it's probably one of the better deals. And I made a couple orders from Federal Ammunition, and just so I could go through the pain with you guys. I could go through the delayed order. I could go through them sending that email out saying, hey, we're behind, overwhelming demand, we're going to catch up. Then they sent my last order, and part of it was on extended back order, and I didn't even get it. So trust me, I've experienced it with you guys. I know what you guys are going through, and I wish you well. But yes, according to several people, many people really, Federal has actually been restocking, and it's just selling out that fast because people are buying ammo at all-time record levels. Why? Well, for many reasons. But number one reason is they probably don't trust their government. And I don't blame them. It's our duty to be skeptical of our government. It's our duty to provide for our own safety. Because as I've said before, but I'll remind you guys who don't normally tune in, right? The police, and this has been decided by the Supreme Court. Most of them are good people. Some of them are not, and corrupt cops should be called out. Anytime there's any tyrant should be called out, okay? Period. Most cops are good people. They'd love to come and save you and help you, but usually when seconds matter, the cops are only mere minutes away, and they often get there to take reports of stuff that already happened. And many people have realized this now. Many people have realized that the left has gone largely unchecked and that violent groups have been terrorizing this country for over 130 days. Violence and crime in the streets. Continual riots. They'll call them mainly peaceful protests, but there's a lot of fake news out there too. Sure, there's some peaceful people out there. Of course. I'm not stupid. I get it. There's people that disagree with me ideologically, and they're very peaceful. But then there's the other ones that are actually violent, and they're rioting. And they're destroying and they're pillaging, and people are like, no, not in my neighborhood, not in my house. I'm buying my first gun. And if that's what it took for them to get that first gun, you know what? I could say all day long, you should have done it sooner. It's your fault for waiting. I can say that. And, you guys can too. You're entitled to your own opinion. But at the same time, the Second Amendment's always been there for all of us, whether we wanted to exercise it or not. And if people are getting into guns, they need ammo, okay? And they need some sense of security. And they're realizing the government and people in uniform are not necessarily going to provide their security for them. And as the Supreme Court says, while police have a duty to protect society at large, there's no compelling rule that says that they have to protect each individual citizen or each individual case. And there was the Supreme Court case where in the subway, they watched somebody getting stabbed, and the cop stood there just separated on the other side of the glass, and they watched it happen. And look, you guys can look it up. It's a Supreme Court case. And they said, well, why? Those cops had the duty. They had to protect them. And it was, brought up that no, actually, they don't. Even though many cops, at least the ones I'm friends with, they would jump in there and help if they could. But they just can't be everywhere all the time, especially when they're people that support these mostly peaceful protesters, their city councils, their governors, their mayors, all these people are telling the police, stand down, stand back, watch it happen, watch it burn. And you guys have seen that happen on TV. You don't need me to tell you that. So I get it. I get it. First time gun owner, new gun owner, you're buying up all the ammo. But keep in mind, millions of other people are too. And that's why you go to places and they'll list thousands of boxes of 9mm at what's nowadays considered a very affordable price. And it'll be gone in 10, 15 minutes. So I wish you guys well. It's bound to get better, I hope. Hopefully soon. I don't know how soon, though. Because I see our country probably more politically divided now than I can remember in a long time. I get it, guys. There was the Civil War, probably more politically divided then. I get that. Other times, but man, in recent history, it's about as divided as it can. So what are people doing? It's the American way. They're buying more guns and they're buying more ammo. And a lot of you guys are too. And people are, quite frankly, fighting over it. It's called supply and demand. I'm not going to lie to you guys and tell you that the ammo shortage is going to last forever because I don't know that. I'm not trying to spark fear in people. I'm not going to say that. I'm also not going to lie to you just to make you feel good and say this ammo shortage will be over on November 3rd because it's not going to be. Okay, guys, just realize that. It's not going to be over on November 3rd. Okay? Because if Trump wins, the left is going to come back and say, this is it. This is the end of America. We have to mostly peaceful, they'll call it protest. And then we're going to be right back in the situation we've been in. If Biden wins, have the Harris-Biden ticket, said by her and him. These aren't my words. This is theirs. They call it the Harris-Biden ticket now. That's what it's called. When, I don't know who the president will be, guys. When the President Harris will say becomes president. President Biden, President Kamala Harris, Kamala, like camel, like the dromedary. That's how I've heard it pronounced. That's how Vice President Biden pronounced it. When Kamala Harris becomes the acting or the whatever president, you guys think the ammo is going to go back in stock? I don't think so. And I think I'm going to wait till next week. I want to wait close to the election, but not too close. And I'm going to do a stream where the better part of it is going to be me discussing their proposed gun control bills if they're elected. And this includes Beto Bozo O'Rourke. He'll be the gun czar, the guy that said, yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47. We're going to take it. That's what he said. He'll be the gun czar, according to Biden himself. I don't see ammo just coming down in price when there's like, I printed it off, guys, okay? I printed it off. It's right over there. Probably next week, I think, is the time to talk about it. It's a dozen pages of gun control, including many on ammunition itself. Taxes beyond taxes, limits, registrations, background checks, bans, outright bans, proposed confiscations. It's all on there, according to them. Beto O'Rourke will be the gun czar. He's going to take your AR-15, your AK-47, if they're elected. And I hope that they're not. So there you go. Ammo shortage. It's going to be here for a while. I don't have the date, okay? It's not psychic, but it's going to be here for a while. Cave Dave, what's happening, man? Gary Weisner, what's up, dude? And my chat just skipped on me. I saw I had a couple super chats. Raw Feeding 101, thanks a lot, man. What's crack-a-lackin', homie? How's it going, dude? I'm doing pretty good. Mark Kirby, what's happening, Mark? How you doing? Hope you're digging this Indian summer. Yes, I am. And speaking of Mark, hold on, dude. I got something in the mail from you that I think is pretty cool. Now, I just got off the lawnmower, guys. I was going to wear this to cut grass, but my friend here sent me a nice shirt, and I like it. I want to see what you guys think of it. Now, I'm a few minutes late for the stream tonight, just to let you guys know, because it's dry, real dry here in this part of Michigan, and I was cutting underneath some pine trees, a bunch of pine trees in this customer's backyard. And it was like, you know, the ring of dirt around it where grass doesn't grow in the needles. And I got back to the shop and I'm ready to do the stream. And I'm like, whoa, I can hardly see the screen. And it was like crusties. And so I had to sit there and run my head underwater. And basically I prettied myself up for you guys. So hopefully someone appreciates it. But yeah, check this out. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it, man. He designed and made this shirt, and I like it. I think this is a message I can get behind. What do you guys think? It says, trust God, love your country, and work hard for the life you want. Made in the USA. It has the flag on the right arm here. And it has the cross on the left arm. And I can get behind that. And I think that's an encouraging message. I know I work really hard for the life that I want, both physically, money-wise. I work my butt off. And I work hard advocating for our rights every day. And there's people trying to make advocating for your rights taboo in the state of Michigan right now. And they're making half-cocked press releases, and they're talking a lot of smack. But I'm going to say hi to you guys for a minute longer, and then I'll address that. Because I've always been fighting for the right thing, for freedom, for liberty, and I've always advocated to do it the right way. I'm going to continue to do so, regardless of any pressure from the Attorney General and the governor trying to scare us into not having our free speech. How dare you, Dana Nessel? How dare you? Gretchen? Witless? They call her so many things I can't even think of it. Nah. We're not the problem. We're the good people. You're the problem. And I'm going to continue to advocate. And I'm going to continue to do what I do. Very peacefully. Very properly. But at the same time, if we lose our free speech, what do we have left? And there was something bad that happened in Michigan that I don't condone. I disavow, don't know these people. But at the same time, let me say hi to you guys just a few more minutes here. Because there's a lot going on in Michigan, and a lot of the rhetoric that I've heard coming back from people that are on the left and people that are in power in Michigan, I'm just shaking my head saying, really? Really? I'm sure a lot of you guys are thinking the same way. How's it going, Matt Morrison? What's up, man? Kathleen Music Lover, how you doing? Trey Orr. Let's see here. You guys are having a good time talking like you always do, which is awesome. We've got Ozark Yemen. What's happening, man? We've got A-Dubs. How you doing? Talking about some 9mm loads. I have noticed heavier than standard is more available A-Dubs than like 115 or 124. I've noticed the same thing. We've got Linda in the house. What's happening, Linda? Nice to see you. Mateo, thanks as always to my moderators. I appreciate you guys. Linda says the radical leftist mobs are showing up in the suburbs and busting up people's houses now. Yeah, I know. And they seem to be going largely unchecked for a long time, and I want to know why that is, especially with the recent events in Michigan here. Alleged events. Allegedly. Let me clear up something. I'm going to talk about, I did a quick video last night about alleged events, and I said probably bad things happen. And there's people out there that have such a low fundamental understanding of our founding documents. So quick history lesson for all these people out there. They're called the founding documents. They're called the laws of the land. And these include several things, including the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution itself. And it says right here, it's called the Bill of Rights. It's free. All the leftists should like that. This is free, guys. Go get this for free. It's called free information that hardworking people's taxpayer dollars pay for to maintain these websites. And you can print this off or read it on your Obama phone if that's your inkling. I don't really care how you read it, but it's on here, okay? And it clearly states that people have something called due process of the law. You know, this is pretty simple stuff here. It says, you know, I don't even know why I have to read this, but apparently I do, because there's so many people that just don't get it, or they're willfully ignorant, and they're trying to ignore this and pretend it doesn't exist. Well, it does exist, and I know it exists, and a lot of you do too, and don't let them make you forget that we have things called due process of the law. We have the Fifth Amendment. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject to the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without the due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. Jeez. Amendment 6. All criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district wherein the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witnesses against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. In suits at common law where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court in the United States than according to the rulings of the common law. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. So here's the deal, guys. Unlike a lot of the fake news that you hear about that says it was 6 people yesterday, 6, now there's 7 more, maybe it's 13 people in Michigan. Separate charges, guys. I'm not trying to mix them all together. There's 2 separate things going on at once, but the way I understand it at this time, allegedly 6 people plotted to kidnap and apparently hold some type of trial the governor of Michigan. Call her what you want, guys. They call her so many things I don't have time to go through it all. But allegedly, okay? That's because I'm not the fake news, guys. I just offer commentary and hang out with my friends, but I'm not going to fall into this thing. These people did it. They did it. Just execute them now. No, it's right here. It's in the Bill of Rights. These are accused. They allegedly committed crimes. That's why I said allegedly people did this, because that's all it is right now. Have they been convicted? No. Have they gotten their right to due process? No. Okay? Now, if this were to be true, because these are alleged crimes right now, if this finds out to be true through due process of law, I disavow. I don't agree with it whatsoever. I don't want to kidnap anybody. I don't want any of you to kidnap anybody, okay? In fact, we're talking about the subject matter here, Gretchen. I don't want her anywhere near me, like literally anywhere near me, okay? I just don't like the look on her face. I don't like the snide things she said. I don't like her rule that she's imposed over all the good people of Michigan. I don't like hanging out with mean-spirited people, and I think she's mean-spirited. So even having the thought of her around me disgusts me. So no, I don't approve of what they did. Again, one more time, disavow. However, these are allegations, okay? And we need to be careful of that, because the fake news just skips that now. It used to be years ago, they would get on there and they'd report the news. They'd say somebody was arrested in an alleged bank robbery. The reason they would use allegedly is because until their trial, okay, until their conviction, it's called due process of law. These are as allegations, okay? Because you're presumed to be innocent. And it is the burden of proof is put on the state, okay? You're presumed innocent. You don't have to, you're not compelled to have testimony, okay? You don't have to self-incriminate yourself. You don't have to say a word. And by somebody not saying a word, that doesn't mean they're admitting guilt or they have anything to hide. It just means by them not saying anything, I don't know if these people are talking or not, just giving you guys a quick history lesson for some of the younger public school folks out there. It's called due process of law. These are guaranteed by God, okay? Endowed by our Creator is what the Declaration of Independence says, and protected by the Bill of Rights. And the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. And the government was put there at our consent to protect us, to protect our rights, to protect us from tyranny. So for all these people out there saying, you know, they did it. I don't know if they did it. How do I know if they did it? I don't know these people. And from the clip that I saw of the one guy who's allegedly part of the co-conspiracy, okay? I watched a clip on Twitter of him, anarchy flag in the background. This is what it looked like to me anyways. Correct me if I'm wrong. Appears to be an anarchy flag in the background. He did nothing but ripped on Trump for 19 seconds straight. So here's the thing, guys. I don't know the facts of the case 100%. I read the 15-page FBI report, okay? I've read the press releases from Attorney General Nessel. I've watched the governor get on TV. I've watched the AG get on TV. I keep seeing all these random talking heads getting on TV, but you know what I'm going to do? And this isn't going to be good for my ratings, but I don't have ratings. I'm just a regular guy hanging out with you guys. I cut grass for a living, and then I get on here. To have fun. That's one of my main purposes, but also to fight for the little bit we have left of this dang country, okay? And you know what? I'm not going to opine tonight on the specifics of the case. Some of you are going to leave right now. So just if you think that's going to happen, that's not what I'm going to do tonight. Because you know what? Just as I said last night, it's so blurry. There's so many alleged this, allegedly that. Now there's this whole separate of there's federal crimes, there's state crimes, okay? I don't know. All I can say is this. I'm going to wait a minute is what I'm trying to say, guys. You know what? I respect Dan Bongino. He has his 48-hour rule. This just all broke 36 hours ago. And I don't have the resources. I don't have a staff that works for me, even for somebody who, in my opinion, is a very measured commentator journalist like Dan Bongino. Even he likes to wait 48 hours. You know what? I'm going to sit on some of these facts. First of all, anything just because the government tells me, I don't just suck it up and believe it. I don't know if everything the government's telling us is true. How do I know that right now? I'm going to look into it a little further, okay? And I'll probably have more opinions on it later. But here's what I do have an opinion on that has to do with these recent events in Michigan. And here's what I want to talk about. Not the actual alleged crimes itself and the alleged perpetrators. I will say the one guy I saw, it's a short video that apparently they took down on some sites, but it's still on others. You guys can probably find it, okay? He doesn't look like anybody I would be friends with, okay? This same gentleman, the guy with the anarchy flag, I can't even remember his name, and I don't know him. I don't know who he is, but whatever. Allegedly part of this one group that I've also never heard of. And I've called so many people today. That's the thing. I'm not just being lazy, guys. I've called so many sources, people I know that are involved in the 2A community, people that know people that are in legit militias in Michigan, you know, people that are involved in politics. The more people I call trying to get some, quote, facts on this, the more it keeps going in circles. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys exactly how, you know, it went down, because I've talked to like 10 very smart people today. They all have different interpretations of what's happening. So there you go. But I will tell you what I did see happen. Okay? And I'll give some of my personal opinions, but I'm mainly going to let the Constitution and the founding documents and the Declaration of Independence do the talking, because my opinion, that's about all we need for a form of government, what's written in these founding documents. I think if we just stick with them, I think we're going to be okay. And I think the reason why a lot of things aren't okay right now is because people are trying to go outside the rule of law. People in government that are supposed to enforce laws, people that are supposed to execute laws. A lot of government seems they're far removed from some of these constraints that were put on them by the founding documents, okay? So I'm going to defer to the Constitution, and I'm going to defer to liberty. But this guy was probably on the left and hated Trump, the one guy that I saw talking, just in his own words. You guys can watch it for yourself. Again, it doesn't look like anybody that I know of that's in the 2A community, the patriot community. Looked like somebody on the left to me, if you just want my opinion. So right away after this happened, I saw the governor get on there. And I've said this before, but I'll say it again because I mean it. There's two separate things going on here, and they both can coexist at the same time. There's a human being, okay, that her name is Gretchen Whitmer. She's a person. She has a family. People love her. I don't wish any ill will on her at all, okay? God loves everybody, and it might be tough for us to swallow sometimes, but yeah, believe it or not, God loves her just as much as me and just as much as you. The Bible says so. As a person, God bless her. I'm glad she's okay. I don't want any harm on this person. However, in her capacity as the governor, she's a public servant. She put herself out there in the public limelight. She ran for the highest office in Michigan to represent 10 million plus people. So as far as her capacity as a governor, I have every right to rip on her, to talk about her terrible policies. And I also have the right, which I have many times before. Again, we're talking about the governor now. As a private person, yes. I'm glad she's okay. Some people are going to get mad at me for saying that, but I hope you guys can understand the distinction. But as governor, witless, many things she's called, You guys can fill in the blanks, color whatever you want, okay? First, last, I'm just reading the comments here. Look, I don't have to love her, neither do you. I was pretty clear on what I said. God loves her just as much as everybody. That's all I'm saying. If you're not a Christian, then you don't believe in that, and I'm not going to tell you to believe in that because you guys know how I am. I don't tell you guys what to believe in, but I have every right to believe in that, and that is my belief. So, again, I'm glad she's safe as a person, but as a governor, no. She put herself up there in front of the public. She has a tremendous amount of power, and in my opinion, too much power. She doesn't want to give it up. So I'm going to go with a word that I've used before and many people have used. One that the Attorney General recently and the governor have said people need to tone down their political rhetoric. Yeah, I agree. Governor Whitmer needs to tone down her political rhetoric because the second she was allegedly almost kidnapped and this alleged plan was thwarted, okay? I didn't really even see her get on TV too much and talk about, oh my gosh, I'm still here. I'm sure that's how she must have felt. But you know what I saw her do? I saw her go straight after President Trump. She said that it's his fault. She said that it's President Trump's fault. Now, the president can stick up for himself, and he did, and he tweeted, and she's talked so much crap about the president of the United States, it's not even funny. Her saying people need to calm down their political rhetoric. This woman, this governor, they call her many things. Call her what you want. I don't care what you guys call her. We still have free speech, whether Dana Nessel or Gretchen Whitmer like it or not. They have rights too, though. I get that. However, she's done nothing but have politically charged rhetoric against the president. From day one, she said he did a horrible job with this flu. I call it the Kung flu. They also call that, I think it's up to, I used to say they call it 25, 30 things. Now I think there's almost 50 names for it. They call it many things. The China plague. I'll just keep calling it the Kung flu because that's what I feel comfortable calling it. She's done nothing but have politically charged rhetoric from the very beginning. And now she's trying to sit there and say, you guys need to shut your mouth. You guys need to not say anything bad about me. Well, guess what? I'm not going to shut my mouth. Whether I wanted to or not, I've become a public figure, and I have every right. I have every right to call these people out on the things they do and the things they say. Who cares if other people plan to allegedly some violent plot against her? I don't know those people. Just because somebody somewhere else is doing something wrong, allegedly, because I don't know, doesn't mean that I have to shut my mouth. So I've called her a tyrant plenty of times before, and I'm going to call her a tyrant again. In my opinion, Gretchen Whitmer's a tyrant, and I want to get you guys' opinion on this. And I just saw a super chat from Reptile, guys. Thanks, man. He says, we all have to stick together. It's going to be a bumpy ride. It's coming quick. Be ready, Patriots. Yes, sir. It's real bumpy right now. The governor of Michigan was allegedly almost kidnapped, and she gets right on TV and starts bashing the president of the United States, saying it's his fault. Now, back to this whole, this is just a joke, guys. I graduated from public schools, okay, and then a community college. So I'm not highly educated. I'm old school, blue collar, okay? Mother was a stay-at-home mom, actually, all the way until I got up to essentially high school, and then school teacher. Dad worked at a factory, not even a union one, like a non-union, low paying, on the lower paying scales of factory work. Son of a factory worker and a stay-at-home mom / after I was basically just starting to get my first car and stuff, school teacher. Public schools, community college. That's me, guys, right there in a nutshell. Don't even use my small college degree I do have. I cut grass and do landscaping. But I do know how to read, okay? And when I make that joke about if you went to public schools, it's a joke in a way. Like, I get it. A lot of smart people went to public schools. You guys probably did. I'm not necessarily smart, but I went there. But the public schools and the Department of Education has been, in my opinion, brainwashing our children and corrupting a lot of things too. So it's a dig at them more than you. I just wanted to explain that because I use that public schools thing a lot. The public schools don't want your children to learn about these founding documents, though, and they don't want them to know about dictionaries and plain contextual meanings of things. They don't want them to know that. They want them to do propaganda and fear, because if you use fear and propaganda and emotions, you can get so much further with emotions than you can facts. Often they say in customer service, it's not the quality of the product that actually makes people happy. It's how they felt about their purchase. You guys ever thought about that? I'll give out facts, guys, for 2 hours on a live stream, and I'll get hammered with thumbs downs. Why? Because I made people feel bad, because I hurt their feelings. Now, I don't have any ill intent towards anybody, but at the same time, there's founding documents that exist. There's right and there's wrong. And some people that are doing wrong that want to justify it, and they want to say, well, hold on a minute. But the ends do justify the means. Those feel-good people, that the way I've seen it, a lot of them that claim to be the feel-good type, they've been the ones mostly peacefully protesting, allegedly, from what I've seen, violently rioting. They don't like it when you call them out. That's fine. That's fine. They can be mad at me if they want. They can take it out on me. But I printed out a page from the Webster's Dictionary. And Nicholas, First Amendment Whitler. Yeah, she has the First Amendment right. And so do I. So do all of you. If you're doing something wrong, apologize for it. If anyone out there is doing anything illegal, I don't know what to tell you. Call your lawyer and turn yourselves in. But speaking out against this crap, absolutely you can speak out. Why can't you? Do we have any rights left at all? Because if we just give them up on our own, of course we don't. Nicholas, thanks, man. I appreciate the super chat. First Amendment Whitler. I told you she's called so many things, guys. I can't even, quite frankly, keep up with it. Mark Corby. When public service stops being a calling and turns into a power grab, there's a problem. Yeah, and we have that with the health departments. I'm going to get into a rabbit hole. I'm going to go back in 1 second, though, to just the plain old dictionary and the founding documents. And I'm going to let those do some talking for me. And I want you guys to think about some of these things. Because I'm not going to say anything particularly profound or anything like that. But I'll tell you what, there's some pretty profound things that I have access to here that I was able to print out and that you all should be reminded of in these times. Ammo Wizard, Virginia, Kentucky, Michigan. I'll have tyrannical governors. This is phase one. Trying to win back the election because they know they're losing. You know what? I will say this real quick before I get into why I call her a tyrant. And if you guys understand why I do. So here's what happened, guys. Trump was elected as the president. He is all of our president. That's if we're American citizens. I know he's not all of your presidents, because some of you guys live in foreign lands. I mean, I love you guys watching too. Great people from all different countries. But for the American crowd, which is 99% of you, Trump is your president. He just is. Okay? That's the greatest thing ever for some of you. For some of you, it's terrible. I get it. We all don't have to like our president. However, it was just uncovered recently by Trump. He just released. I haven't had a chance to read them all. I'm not a lawyer, okay? And Trump released, I guess it was 1,000 pages is what I've heard. Correct me if I'm wrong. Something like that, like many, many pages of previously classified documents showing that he was framed by many people in the government, including, from what I've gathered, just skimming it a little bit, the FBI. Okay. That was just breaking news. You know what else was breaking news? And I had constitutional attorney Catherine Henry as my guest of honor, and it was an honor to have her, and very inspirational. If you guys haven't watched that video and you're from Michigan, I suggest you go back to my channel on Monday. And Catherine was one of the litigators that actually went in there and argued for us, we the people. She was a third party. She filed an amicus brief, actually had oral arguments in front of the highest court in the land of Michigan. And you know what happened? Whitmer just got shut down, cold and hard, but it goes back to a date further than that. And I'm going to read this real quick before I get into this any further, because someone just asked me, do you think she overplayed it due to elections? In my opinion, I think she did only win as soon as the fact that she went and brought Trump into it immediately. Now, there's two separate things going on. I'm going to clarify again. She's a person. There's a human being by the name of Gretchen Whitmer. Would I want to be personally friends with her? No, but I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to her. So, look, can you overplay the fact that you were almost kidnapped and possibly worse? No. But I didn't hear her dwell on that. I heard her go right to the president. So for that, in her role as the governor, we're going to go back to now Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Yeah, the governor did overplay. in my opinion. I think she's creating a bunch of drama. She blamed Trump for it. But I'm going to go back to April in a second here. But first, I want to go to the Merriam-Webster's dictionary. And I printed this off. Now, when I call her a tyrant, this isn't me just being mean to her. Being mean doesn't solve anything. Okay? Now, the left has tried to take this word tyrant and just turn it into like, well, that's just a general put down. You're being mean if you call somebody that. No, I'm actually just following the dictionary. One of the longest trusted dictionaries. Our friend Ozark, if he's still in here, Ozark Yeoman. He often holds up the original 1828 Webster's Dictionary. That was the first official dictionary in the United States of America that was actually compiled, hardbound. And some words have changed meaning since then. And when I get the money, I want to buy a copy of that. Until then, you'll just have to watch Ozark's videos. And he was in the chat a few minutes ago. I don't know if he's here, but his channel's featured on my homepage. I always recommend going over there. And I've given him shout outs in the past, and I will again. But Webster's one of the oldest dictionaries there are, so I'm just using theirs. Definition of a tyrant. Now, there's a bunch of different ones, but the very first one, an absolute ruler, unrestrained by law or constitution. So let me ask the audience this. Let me ask my friends, you guys. An absolute ruler, unrestrained by law or constitution. Do you guys think she fits that definition? Do you think I'm out of line by calling her that? Whether she likes it or not. Doesn't matter what she likes. I'm just asking you guys. We're going to go back in Michigan. They call it many things. We'll call it the Kung Flu once again. Came in here. They called it novel. Nobody knew exactly what it was. And they said, well, millions of people could die. Everybody could die. It was chaos. People didn't know what was happening. After a little while, a lot of people, I'm not a doctor, I'm just telling you what I read people saying. A lot of people said this is nothing more than a strain of the cold. This is nothing more than the flu. People said things like herd immunity. People said many things. Well, then other people said, no, you don't understand. If you don't listen to everything Gretchen says, you're all going to die. You guys have to remember this. That's what it was like in early spring in Michigan and probably in all of these 50 states. Some of you guys are saying by evidence, yes. Well, I'm going to put forth the evidence. I'm going to let you guys know. You guys are the court of public opinion. Let's see what the court of public opinion has to say. I'm going to be the prosecutor in this court of public opinion tonight, and you guys can be the jury. Putting you guys to work. You're a jury, but you don't get jury pay. Don't have money to pay you, but guess what? When the government pays you for jury duty, they're just paying you with your own money because that was taxes and taxation stuff. So they stole money from you and then gave it to you. So, hey, I'm not going to pay you for jury duty, but at least I'm not going to steal your money from you first. So you guys can thank me later for that. All right. One more time. Tyrant, an absolute ruler, unrestrained by law or constitution. So Michigan has laws, many laws, probably too many laws, because apparently the governor doesn't understand what they mean. Now, you could probably have a multiple choice. 1 + 1 = 2 or 1 + 1 = 3. And she could pick 3 because I don't know how she passed the bar exam. But I digress. We had laws on the books. And these laws talked about things such as what happens in the state of an emergency. And there was a law in 1945 that was written after World War II, probably by looking at the intent of it. It was written for reasons of what had happened in World War II, and they wanted us to be prepared. Had the Japanese not just bombed Pearl Harbor, maybe they would have come into Michigan. You guys get it, right? So they put up an Emergency Governor's Orders Act. I don't know if that's actually the name of it, but emergency powers. 1945 is what we call it. Repeal 45, by the way. Secretary of State better get with it. It's illegal if they take too long, and don't let this Repeal 45 petition get counted as a side note. For all you guys following that. The Secretary of State, she better get with it quick, or else she's going to find herself breaking the law yet again. Like many of these other people, tyrants in the state of Michigan. Okay, so there was a law. There was another law in 1976 that further dealt with these emergency powers. Well, it very clearly stated in one of the laws she was citing that she had 28 days to do it, and then she had to go to the legislature. 3 separate but equal branches of government. We have the executive, which, yes, the governor is the head of. Unfortunately, she's the governor, but the governor is the head of it. Okay. No question about that. That's not up for debate. Then we have the legislature, which has two chambers, the upper chamber being the Senate and the lower chamber being the Michigan House of Representatives. That's another third. And the third is the judicial branch. And that consists of the lower courts all the way up to an ending of the supreme law of the land as far as, the judicial branch goes. And that's the Michigan Supreme Court, which we'll get to in just a minute. So you go back to April. She had 28 days. She went to the legislature and said, will you extend it? And I'm summarizing this real quickly. But I have to set the stage here of what happened and why I want to know in the end if you guys think she's a tyrant by Webster's definition. She went back and said, I want longer. They said, well, you need to work with us. We need to work together as a team. She said, no, I don't want to work with you. That's what the Republican-controlled House and Senate have said, at least. Don't want to work with you. Or she didn't want to work with them enough. Regardless of the reason why, they said, well, we'll extend you 13 days, I believe it was. And someone might get me off on a detail, but those don't matter as much as the process. I think it was 13 days they gave her. When that 13 days ran out, she said, I want 28 more. And that brings us to a very important date in the state of Michigan, in the history of Michigan, and hopefully on the good side of history going forward. Because history often writes its own narrative as time goes on, what people remember, what gets portrayed by the news, whether real or fake. And the legislatures were in session and they were ready to vote. Because if they didn't vote to extend, her powers ended that day. That's what the law said. That's what the letter of the law said. And even though that law has now been deemed unconstitutional, it's still what it says. So a lot of us showed up at a rally. Unlock Michigan. Open up Michigan. We couldn't cut grass. Just remember this, guys. Under this ruler, this governor, they've called her dictator. They've called her many things. You couldn't buy paint. You could buy drywall, but not paint. You couldn't go out and cut your grass. Although allegedly her husband went up north to rake leaves. Just saying. You couldn't put your boat in the water. You could go on a boat, but it had to be a rowboat. It couldn't be a motorboat. Now, many people think she was incorporating the New Green Deal into a pandemic over this China plague. Yeah, it's true. Go back and look at those orders, guys. She was doing that around these times. She was making stores, big box stores, rope off the aisles where they're selling seeds. So in one hand, she was telling you you're so afraid of this plague that you shouldn't even go out of your house. It was called lockdown, stay-at-home orders. Businesses were forced to close unless they were deemed essential by her. Her picking winners and losers is what this means in a lot of people's opinions. A lot of scholars, economic scholars, have said that's what that really is. Saying essential business, that's picking the winners and it's picking the losers. My business was on the losing end because one of the main things she went after was cutting grass. But you couldn't buy the seeds. So hold on a minute. I want to have a garden and feed my family. I need seeds. Gretchen said you couldn't buy those. It's true, guys. Look it up. It was in there. But you could buy alcohol. You could buy lotto tickets. You could buy tobacco. You could buy medical marijuana. Now, is medicine important to some people for different reasons? Sure, but no one can doubt whether being able to grow your own food, that was deemed to be not essential. Cutting grass, even though all the local departments all have ordinances in place that you have to cut your grass or you'll get a fine, which I argued the case for when this was going on this channel right here. Vermin, insects, poisonous insects, diseased vermin that as you let your lawn and underbrush, you let the grow into a forest around your house and now allows critters ways to hide in the tall grass, sneak into your house, which can get you sick. The plague is still carried by rats, guys. Not the China plague, but the original, the real deal plague. Like you get it and you die, the plague. That's still carried by rats. But no. She said that doesn't matter either. You can't cut your grass. So the legislatures, it was going to be a tough vote. It was going to be a tough vote. And at the end of April, we weren't sure how they were going to vote. So you know what we did? We did what you're supposed to do of a government that's supposed to be of the people, by the people, and for the people. We went in the Capitol. We wanted to go into the gallery. And as they were getting ready to vote, voice our opinions from the gallery, they wouldn't let us in. They locked it out. Governor's orders, health department's orders, blah, blah. Orders upon orders. You're not allowed in the gallery. So what did we do? We filled up the Capitol lawn. We went in there. Now, the media portrayed this right away, and so did the governor. She said, violent overtaking, insurgency into the... No, we went in there. Let me tell you guys how the Michigan Capitol Chamber works, the House Chamber. There's these doors. They're about 15 foot tall. They're solid, hard, wood, only the finest materials, paid for by taxpayer dollar, of course. This door is so thick. This is almost a soundproof room. So we went in what's called the rotunda. Many floors in the Michigan State Capitol, but ultimately it's a circle with that big, beautiful dome that the taxpayers, blood, sweat, and tears of millions, hundreds of millions of taxpayers throughout the history of this state paid to build and upkeep. Beautiful building, by the way. Beautiful building. It's round in the middle, and you go around in circles, and you keep going up higher and higher, and you can look down, and it's hollow all the way through. It echoes, okay? And there's steel grates in the floors. So since we couldn't get within, normal speaking distance to be like, do not extend, which that's how it works. It's called the people. Of the people, by the people, for the people that elect a government that as long as that government is there to protect our life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and as long as they're governing by our consent, it's called consent of the people, guys. This is in the founding documents that I'm going to read in just a minute. So we went there and said, you do not have our consent. Peacefully, vocally, we said, you do not have our consent to extend this order. And we yelled really loud and we stomped our feet. Now, just keep in mind in context, if you've never been to the Michigan Capitol, stomping your feet is not destruction of property. There are these thick metal grates, and that's just what you do. Boom, 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 boom. It's not hurting anything, just to make that clear in case you guys, have never been in there. So we stomped our feet and we yelled, No. They could hear us in there, okay? I talked to many state reps after the fact. They heard us. You know what they did? They did not extend. So at that date, the letter of the law said, it's over. Her emergency powers are now over because this public act in Michigan, you can call it law, it's a synonym, but it's called a public act. The public act she was citing said 28 days. That 28 days was over. They did not vote to extend. And people like Catherine Henry are that way, constitutional attorney, thousands of patriots, some of you in the chat here that I recognize, a lot of you guys I recognize in the chat were there that day. There were old people, senior citizens, there were children, beautiful people, nice people. Was there one or two bad people there? Maybe. Who cares? I don't know, because I don't care about those people. But we were there just to literally let our legislature know, no, don't do it. And go back on my channel. I have video of showing you guys of me standing there in the rotunda, right? The big dome round. Go back and check my video, guys, if you're having a hard time envisioning it. And we yelled really loud. Yeah, the right to peaceably assemble, of course. Redress of grievances, of course. They didn't vote to extend. It was over that day. And you know what Gretchen Whitmer did that day? She raised the political temperature because she came back out and she said, you know what? You guys weren't properly socially distancing. And I'm not going to perfectly imitate her because I don't like to imitate her. Anyways, they call her many things for a reason, guys. She said, now that you guys assembled, I'm going to have to extend the stay-at-home order longer. And we're like, excuse me? Excuse me? Now go back to the definition of this word tyrant at this time, right around April 30th. The upper chamber of the Senate did not vote to extend. The lower chamber of the House did not vote to extend. So by default, the law said it's over. That's what the law said. Constitutional attorneys interpreted it to say that. People in at least the leadership, the Republicans in the Michigan House and Senate, they read it to say that. That's what I read it to say. And all of you guys, even those that went to public schools like me, we read it. And we're like, no, this clearly says 28 days. She said, no, it doesn't. I'm going to do what I want. And the fact that you guys even tried to usurp my power through your duly elected legislature, your Senate and your House, I'm going to lock you down longer because of you guys doing that. Look it up. That's what she said. Now, she said because of science and all this, whatever. You can put lipstick on a pig, guys. It's still just a pig, okay? She can put lipstick on this all she wants, but that's when she went around one of the three branches of government that day. The day that they didn't extend, and the law on its face clearly stated that she was done with her executive orders. It was over. Nope. She went around the legislative branch and said, no, I'm going to double down and do it more, and I'm going to do it longer, and I'm going to do it worse. And she wasn't bluffing. She did do it longer. She did do more restrictions, and she did do it worse. This happened before they were all thrown out of court just the other day. She was up to almost 200 of them. Now, I'm reading this definition here. An absolute ruler unrestrained by law or the Constitution. Well, the legislative that she thumbed her nose at, they make law. Okay. So, to me, a reasonable person would have no other conclusion that she went around the law there. And then there's the Constitution. What does the Constitution have to say about it? Well, let's fast forward. Michigan was under tyranny for months and months and months. But we said, you know what? This is why we have separate but equal branches of government. We still have the judiciary. And these checks of power were put there, so we couldn't have a monarchy. Because when Ben Franklin was asked at the conception of this country, and the lady walked up to him, and it gives you chills just thinking about it, guys. All the tyranny that we've had to be under, oppressed by the governor of Michigan and many of your governors. She said, sir, what do we have? A monarchy or a republic? He said, a republic if you can keep it. And we were witnessing somebody acting like a monarchy that day in Lansing on April 30th. And we said, no, we want a republic. And if it takes us screaming and yelling, we're going to do that to keep it. And the legislature heard, and the legislature did not extend, and she went around them. Months and months later, let's fast forward to just a week ago. A week ago today. An absolute ruler unrestrained by law or Constitution. All right, well, she went around what the law said. We already established that. Now the Constitution. That's where the judicial branch comes into play. Let's fast forward to the Michigan Supreme Court. The legislature sued. The governor defended. Catherine Henry argued as we'll call her a neutral party. She argued amicus, like friend of the court. She argued for the people, okay? And she had oral arguments as well as written briefs, and she argued just why it was violating the rights of the people. That's who she was representing. Guess what the court did? The court decided 7-0 in the High Court of Michigan. 7-0 on the one law, basically saying, no, it was over back in April 30th. And then the other law, they decided 4-3, but still the majority decided that no, that law she was citing was unconstitutional. From the day of its inception, it had been unconstitutional all these years. It just took 80 years, approximately, finally, for these to get up in front of the high court for them to have a final order or say about it. And they struck it down, and they said it's unconstitutional. And then you know what she said? And I talked about it in the last stream. She said she was going to still enforce all of her executive actions using other means. I'm paraphrasing here. I don't want to misquote her, guys. You know the gist of it, though. She basically said, I'm just going to go around that court order and do it to you anyways. And she did. Now she's using the MDHHS to basically enact every single executive order that was not extended by the legislature, which is a moot point now because the whole darn thing was thrown out as unconstitutional. Now she's using another portion of the executive branch, which I would note was on the same lawsuit against her. Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Attorney General Dana Nessel, the MDHHS, I can't think of his name right now. MDHHS was listed. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services was listed on the actual court's decision. I'm not a lawyer. I don't want to opine much longer than that. But according to Catherine Henry on my stream Monday, she said they can't do it either. So when we have a word, and words do matter and words do have meaning, have I convinced you guys that that's actually very appropriate and actually of the utmost politeness to say that Gretchen Whitmer is a tyrant? One more time, according to Merriam-Webster, an absolute ruler unrestrained by law or constitution. The legislature didn't vote to extend. They said it was over. She went right by them. The High Court of the Land of Michigan said it's over, and she went right by them. Yeah, that happened in Michigan. And in my opinion, it made her look pretty bad. And everybody I know on the right, the Republicans, conservatives, look, it's hard to label people, but you know what I'm saying. People that did not agree with what she was doing. This was a huge victory for us. We've been doing nothing but celebrating this. The Supreme Court case. Now she's going to just go around that too, apparently. So I don't know. I don't know what else to call her, guys. I'm just trying to use words that have dictionary definitions, and there you go. So no, that's not just a generic put down when I say that. And I've had people ask me that, like, dude, why do you got to be mean? Why do you got to call her a tyrant? I'm like, it's not mean. It's not mean. I have no ill will towards this woman personally, but as the governor, I do not agree with what she's doing at all. I think her policies suck, but that's my personal opinion. That's not why I call her a tyrant. I don't call her a tyrant because we might disagree on a social welfare program or whatever. I get it. Elections have consequences. A Democrat got elected. I understand. I get it. Now, the Democrats don't understand that a Republican got elected to the presidency. They can't understand that, but I can. I'm only calling her a tyrant because it says an absolute ruler unrestrained by law or the Constitution, and it appears in many people's opinions she is, and I want you guys to make your own decisions for yourself, because I never tell people what to decide, because many and most of you are smarter than me. And it made her look really bad. Now, all of a sudden, allegedly, there was a conspiracy to do bad things to her. It sucks. I don't want bad things to happen to her personally, but immediately she gets out there and she says it's President Trump's fault. Well, I thought they said it was the FBI, so basically his people went in there and thwarted it. Trump sent his people in to protect her, but it's his fault? Look, I don't know him personally either. I don't need to stick up for him. I'm just trying to stick up for the fact that, yeah, we can still talk about her. She just got overruled by the Michigan Supreme Court, guys. But now no one's even talking about that anymore. They're saying Trump didn't disavow this certain group. So that's why. Trump didn't say this. Trump did say this. Really? People have their own minds and their own free will to do what they want to do. I don't think Trump could make anybody do anything. I don't see how he actually could. And here's how I'll tell you, Trump can't actually do anything to you personally. I'm being serious when I say this. I get it. He's the president. If he were to go around the Constitution and do some weird deep state thing, maybe, but I don't think there's much he can do to you. When he ran in 2016, just remember this, guys. This is another way to think about this. President Trump, one of the biggest chants in his campaigns, and he had the biggest rallies there ever were. Okay, some of the funnest, hugest rallies ever. Campaign season, people will probably never forget. One of the biggest chants he ever had was lock her up, lock her up. Talking about Hillary Clinton. Trump said in the debates, she said, well, it's a good thing we don't have a president like this with his finger on the nuclear button. Paraphrasing, of course. He said, yeah, you're lucky I'm not, because you'd be in jail. He ran on the fact that if he was elected president, he'd lock her up and put her in jail, and guess what? She's still free. So the president doesn't have the power to tell anyone to do anything. They don't have to listen to him. He literally said, I'm going to put someone in jail, and she's not in jail. So if the president said, liberate Michigan, that's what they're quoting him on. Well, first of all, what's that even mean? I can't understand how anyone can construe that to mean kidnap somebody. I don't hear that. When I hear liberate, that just sounds like to have liberty. That doesn't sound like anything criminal to me, but that's what they're saying. The president doesn't make people do anything. Yeah, he has policy. He can make policy. He can sign executive actions. Yes, that will affect your life. I'm not diminishing. He's the most powerful person in the country, okay? That's true. Well, it's also true that just because he says something doesn't just make it where all of a sudden everybody's legally compelled to do it. Because if so, Hillary would be in jail, and she's not. Have you guys ever thought about that? So I don't know. Look, the president says all kinds of stuff that a lot of people hate. Well, guess what? The governor, she says all kinds of stuff. Look, there's nothing I've said about her. Okay? Actually, let me say that a different way. I've been way more polite in the things I've said about her than she ever was to the president. She's calling all kinds of names I wouldn't even repeat on here. She has a potty mouth. She curses in public when there could be young children watching. If you guys haven't noticed, maybe once, I don't remember it though. I don't swear on this show. She cusses like a trucker, which is fine. That's free speech. That's fine. I'm just saying. She wants to talk about how it's Trump supporters and Trump rhetoric that's causing all this stuff to happen. I don't think so. That's not my opinion. What's you guys' opinion on that? I think for myself, the president doesn't tell me what to do. Okay? I'm reading Merriam-Webster dictionary, and I just portrayed to you guys and just recounted just a quick history of what happened in Michigan over the last 6 months. And it's like, well, does she meet the definition or doesn't she? If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, sometimes it is indeed a duck. All right, let me check here. I got a super chat from USA Forever. Thank you very much. Wuhan flu. I told you they call it a million things. There you go. Another name for it. Brothers, I understand supply and demand, but our production to suppliers are still pushing greed. I truly believe things will get better and keep my fingers crossed. Trump will get this straightened out. Thank you, 2AEDU, for your work. And thank you for those words of encouragement. Look, guys, I don't want this ammunition shortage to last any longer than possible, okay? Supply and demand, as they're saying here, huge thing. But he says, but our production to suppliers are still pushing greed. So here's what happens. When they see that there's like, say there was 100 boxes of ammo on the shelf and there was one person that wanted it, then they might be like, hey, you only want 10 boxes? I want to move these 100 boxes. So how about this? If you buy 20, I'll throw in a box for free. That's what would happen when there's extremely low demand and excess supply. They want it off their books is how businesses will word this, right? And we actually had that. They call it the Trump Slump. When Trump got elected, many and most gun owners said our gun rights are safe for 4 years. Okay? That's what most people thought. Some people say, well, they were or won't. That's a totally separate argument. All right? But Trump said, your attack on the Second Amendment's over. And most people believed that. And there was an all-time low demand, and they were actually selling this stuff for dirt cheap. Okay? Dirt cheap because there was a lot of extra ammo just kind of, I guess for lack of a better word, floating around, right? Now, all of a sudden, it's the complete opposite. Now, imagine this, the opposite scenario, which is reality in many cases. There's 10 boxes of ammo, and there's 100 people at the door, people that want it bad. And each of them wants to buy. So there's 10 boxes in the store. There's 100 people lined up at the door, and each of them wants to buy all 10 boxes. Actually, more like it, they want to buy 20 boxes, even though there's 10. Then what do? Do you sell it to the first 10 and then the 99 have none? Do you say limit one box? Do you say, well, now I'm going to charge so much a box that 90% of the people are going to scoff at it and say, there's no way I'm paying that price. I'm out of here. And then 10 people say, I don't care how much I have to pay. I'm going to buy it. I'm not telling you guys what the right way to do things is, but those are kind of the generally 3 things that people will do. Now, there's back orders and other things like that. Some people say, well, that's greed for the guy to be charging $50 for a box of 9mm FMJ. Other people have told me, and that's, what a lot of people think. But I've had other people say, not so fast. They've said, not so fast. Hold on. I'd rather them charge 50, so that way people won't buy 100 boxes each, and it'll save one for me because I just need one box. And even if I have to, quote, get ripped off, at least I have 8 boxes because I have 2 beautiful children at home and my lovely wife, and I'm willing to pay anything. Just let me get that one box so this other guy doesn't buy all of it because it's so cheap. Now, in the United States, we have a mixed economy. We're not 100% capitalist. They want us to become more of a socialist country, but we're not quite socialist either. Generally, we have a supply and demand type economy where what's something worth, it's worth what people are willing to pay for it, right? But I do actually understand both sides of it. I do, because I've seen people present intelligent arguments on both sides of it enough where I do actually understand it. I may have a preference to which side I kind of think is a little more right or is a little more wrong, but I get it. Do you guys have opinions on that? Do people think that, there's mainly two groups of people. Now, we can subdivide it into 50 subsections, but let's just say for right now, there's 2 groups of people. They should sell it dirt cheap, and whoever just gets to it first should buy all of it. And so long, sucker, you didn't get up early enough or get in line. Okay, that's a point people make. The other is, no, charge enough for it or limit the amount where everyone can get their one box. Now, you guys probably know where I lean on this, but it's not really about me. I think that it's important again, for someone just to say, screw you, I'm entitled to this and that, no, that's not going to win me over, this little socialist libtard argument. Those don't fare well with me. But I have seen people intelligently actually present arguments on both sides of that one. So, I don't know. Linda Young, the Shark Week comment. That was a gaffe. That was a gaffe and a half. Linda, just even think about that with this woman, this whatever she is. Whew. All right. I'm never going to be the same again, guys. Yeah, her Shark Week comment. I'm sure that made national news too. Every time I have people from Great Britain, my friend Dutchman, he usually watches. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to the people in the UK. Hey, you know what I've realized? A lot more people in the UK right now have a lot more balls than a lot of Americans. I'm not joking. They're standing up. I've seen tens of thousands of them standing up in the streets of London and other places. But anyways, he comes in. He's like, I just read in my newspaper about your governor. I'm like, really? Really? In the UK, our governor of Michigan makes headlines. Well, yeah, she's been in the headlines of the UK newspapers for the past 6 months. It's like, really? So I'm sure her Shark Week comment was too, and many of you guys probably know about that. It's crazy, isn't it? Speaking of positive things, here's something that puts a smile on my face. Here's my girl, Tap Rack and Roll. What's happening? Now, she has a lot of fun in her videos, and so do I. She's not talking about the governor of Michigan, though, so she can still keep a smile on her face. So I put out a community post yesterday. And you guys know this channel's always been about and still is and is going to continue to be. I want to help people, okay? Tonight, I'm just letting people put into perspective, what are your constitutional rights? How does the government work? Governor overruled by the courts, but even with guns themselves and things like history, I always want to help you guys, you know? I want to help the new gun owner, and there's many videos for that. So somebody come into my channel a few weeks back, and she left a comment, and I said, okay. And this is smart marketing for you, by the way, Tap Rack and Roll. She had a name, Tap Rack and Roll. I'm like, that sounds like a channel. And usually, look, guys, I get like 1,000 comments a day. I can't read all of them. I try to read most of them. And if it has a heart on it, I read it. If it has a response, well, then obviously I read it because I responded. But I saw her comment, and I'm like, looks like a channel. Let's see what's up. So she had like one video at the time. I was subscriber number 2. Was I 2 or 3? I don't want to exaggerate. I was either subscriber 2 or 3. So I went over there. I'm like, this is a good video. And here's what she's doing. She's a noob. And she's basically taking you guys on her journey. Like, she learned to shoot during the flu. Okay. She's a flu newbie, if you will, just like so many of you guys are. And she's basically, there's videos of her with her instructor learning how to draw from a holster. She did pretty good. She'd probably quicker draw than most of you guys. I hate to say it, but whatever. And then I was like, okay, this is cool. Some chick talking about guns. Like, yeah, they're like a dime a dozen, whatever. Who cares? Another pretty face. Like, I know like thousands of pretty girls that shoot guns. So like, she's pretty cool, but kind of who cares? I'm being honest. That's what I thought. And then she put out another video, and it was patriotic. And I was like, really? And then I read a description. I'm like, this lady, chick, I'm actually calling her a gun bunny, just so you guys know. You'll have to watch not her newest one, but the video before that, and you'll get the inside joke. But I was like, nah, she's pretty cool. I'm all about this. I'm about new gun owners. I'm about new gun channels. And I'm supporting her channel. And she's my friend. I like her a lot. And you know what? Go over there, guys. Check out her channel. I'm going to personally vouch for it. I'm going to make a deal for you. You guys can't resist. So go over there. If you like it, then stick around. Go over there and sub to it. Okay? Support her. We need to get more gun channels. Any of these channels can get shut down at any day for any reason or no reason, okay? I think she's putting out a lot of good information for all you noobs out there. And, you know, she just did a nice history on the Gadsden flag just yesterday. So here's my deal for you. Go over there, okay? If you like, then thank me. Say, thanks, dude. That was an awesome channel. If you don't like it, just come over here and give me the thumbs down. Now, Tap, Rack, and Roll. This is just between me and you. Don't tell the rest of the guys this. See, I make it sound like I'm willing to sacrifice to give you a shout out, which I am. I do like you. But when they give me the thumbs down, Susan sees that the same as a thumbs up. So they still help propagate me through the algorithm. All right. So don't tell anybody that. But anyways, yeah, just go over there. And I'm going to check something here. Right now, let me hit refresh. There's 94 subscribers over there. So here's my deal. I'm going to go take a 5-minute break because I need something to drink. And if the Tap Rock and Roll channel has 100 subs, by the time I get back, I'll continue the stream. And well, if not, I'm still going to continue it, but I have to play tough here. All right. I will not continue this stream. Ladies and gentlemen, 2AEDU will not continue this stream unless Tap Rock and Roll has 100 by the time he gets back. And if you don't like it, give me the thumbs down. I'll be back in just a second, guys. Just give me 5 minutes. But no, I'm trying to have fun here. We have to have fun. This is all a bunch of BS going on. But seeing her channel, seeing her get started, that's encouraging to me. I hope it encourages you guys. And I've shouted people out like crazy, but she's a noob, so she needs some help. She got 11 subs yesterday, guys, is what it comes down to. I'm like, nah, this ain't going to cut it. I know how this darn algorithm is. I know how it is. You got to fight through it. It's almost impossible. Like, no one will ever see these videos. So just spread it around and tell your friends. I'll be right back, guys. In like 2 minutes. Cats, cars, and ringtail gang. Come on, man. Give me a break. Oh, he said, don't forget the toilet paper. I'm sorry. I thought he said forget the toilet paper. All right. I'll be back in a minute. If she's at 100. If not, whatever. I'll be back anyways. All right, I'm back, and there were a couple super chats that I missed, and I'm trying to figure out. I have no helper or assistant here. I see the one from Tim J on my phone. There was one before that. I'm trying to find it here because if somebody paid money for me to read their message, I'm feel terrible. I see Tim J's. There was one before that. If you can retype it in and do @2aedu, I'll be looking for it. If you guys can. It's hard to see on my end, and I know other streamers complain about it too. This is back to Susan again. I haven't talked about her yet today. Susan Wiki, they call her. She's always messing with stuff, and it makes it hard for me to actually see these chats. They're there, and I'll be scrolling through them, then they just skip. And then they're gone. So I do see Tim J's. Thanks for the super chat, man. He says, no caps is not free speech. How about Pelosi and that 25th Amendment? Wow, thanks for all you do. No problem, man. I'm doing a lot, and that's going to be a good segue for me to come back to things I'm doing, okay? Allegedly, people try to do some bad things to the governor. That's not how you get stuff done right now, guys. I don't think that's appropriate. But I'm telling you things I'm doing to fight back, and I think is the dictionary definition of a tyrant. And you guys can go back in the channel and see all the different things that I've done and that I'm continuing to do, because we can fight back and we can still be strong and we can still be confident and we can still be ourselves and we can try to get change without actually resorting to allegedly, apparently, probably some bad plans that weren't worth a crap. That just, the whole thing just sounds like a mess. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, what do I think about the 25th Amendment? No, that's not applicable here, because the way I understand the 25th Amendment, the vice president would have to evoke it and request it. I don't see Pence doing that. In fact, I just saw Pence just literally commanded the debate. It wasn't even close. He literally whipped her butt in that debate. You know what was kind of refreshing for me, guys? This is going to sound weird, but I think some of you may feel the same way. So no, there's no 25th Amendment at stake. Pelosi can say whatever she wants. It doesn't matter. Pence has to be part of the initiation of that. And I'm going to bet you a lot of money right now Mike Pence will not do that, period. It's over before it even gets started. Just saying. And then even if he did, then it's still such a rabbit hole. It would still be 99% not going to happen, even if Pence did. But Pence isn't gonna, so it's dead on arrival. I wouldn't worry about that. That's Pelosi saber rattling. The governor's saber rattling. They're all saber rattling to try to get you to vote. They don't care about you. They don't care about none of it. They don't even hate guns. They love guns. They just don't want you to have them because they want to be the ruling class and they want to be the only ones with power. But I digress. Free speech. Free speech could mean many things, man. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but if we're going to go in the context of the founding documents, okay, they do address free speech. Okay. And in the very, very beginning, the first one, it says Congress shall pass no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech. So if Congress made a law that said you cannot use caps or type in caps, that would be 100% unconstitutional. 100%. Look, guys, you guys say what you want in here for the most part. I don't want people threatening people, stuff like that. That's just not cool. We don't like mean people. But at the same time, if there's moderators saying they don't want you to use all caps, I mean, first of all, they're not Congress, okay? And just hear me out real quick, because it's been a while since I've discussed this, and I will, briefly. Okay, it's just called kind of just general politeness and decorum. So I'll give you an example. Any of your houses, Tim, in your house, we're sitting there, me and my wife, and you and your wife, we're having a conversation, and to try to win the conversation, I start yelling. Or just say I want to be in the center of attention, so I start yelling. You're like, dude, calm down. This is my living room. I want everyone else to get a chance to talk. That's all it is. All caps has long been known as a way to shout on the internet. If you're shouting, that draws attention to yourself, then other people can't be heard as much. So it's nothing to do with infringing upon your rights, which I'm a staunch defender thereof. But first of all, nobody in this chat is of the government with any force of law. And second of all, it's just not really generally proper, chat decorum to use all caps. But I don't take any offense by the question. It's a fine question, and hopefully I answered that for you. But I wouldn't worry too much about the 25th Amendment irregardless. I think that's dead, not just dead on arrival. That's dead before it even goes to. Arrival. Where's Tap Rack and Roll? Is she still in here? Well, let me see how many. Did I get any thumbs downs yet? I made a deal with you guys. If you don't like her channel, give me the thumbs down. What other super chat did I miss, guys? I appreciate it. No, this chat system's messed up. And here's the thing, too, guys. You have to remember, I'm not like a production, okay? It's like literally there's just me here. Well, no. I'll take that back. It's not just me. I've got Lamy. We're working on it, but he's not. His computer skills aren't good. He has a problem, okay? They're called hooves. All right. He's not good with the keyboard or the mouse. So he can't help me, even though he's here providing security. So he's still important. Look at that. Look at that half track. Thanks, Pillbox Bunker, by the way. Pillbox Bunker donated the half track to the channel. The llama was not quite what you'd say stolen, but it was acquired from my friend Ray, and he's still here. Technically, possession's 9/10 of the law, so I think he's mine now. But don't tell her I said that, okay? Anyways, I don't have anyone here to do like what. There's 200 people in here, okay? I cannot. The chat goes by so fast. If I just wait 2 seconds and look away, it's gone. And for some reason, even though I have it right in front of me, I'll barely like scroll down, and then it's just gone. So whoever left me a super chat that I did not read, if you repeat it now, let me know it was you. Other than that, all I can say is I'm sorry, and trust me, this is a hard interface to completely manage by yourself, especially when there's 200 people actively chatting, which is awesome. You guys are having a great time in the chat. What's up, White Space Marines? What's up, JB in Water 2? How you doing, man? Rockford Ordnance, what's up? Region 1 Resistance, politically independent. Was it Ammo Wizard? You guys are telling me? What did you say, Ammo Wizard? Shout out to the Ammo Wizard channel, by the way. What's up, man? No, just retype it in if I missed something that. Chuck R, you missed the 9mm box of Remington FMJ that I put Makarov rounds in on your doormat. Is that what happened? I was wondering why those rounds wouldn't chamber. Is that because it's like a 3.65 bullet instead of a 3.55 bullet? I don't know. Okay, where's Tap Rack and Roll at? Where's the gun bunny at? Okay, you guys have got to. You guys are gonna think I'm just making this up, but the last video was about Gadsden flag. The one before that, if you watch it, just watch it after the stream. You guys will be like, that's what he was talking about. Rudy Finney with a super chat. Thanks, man. Smash the thumbs up, everybody. Thank you. Does that mean they're slacking, Rudy? I appreciate it, man. Sometimes they're slackers. It's free. The Amazon link's free. It does help the channel, guys, by the way. I don't mind begging for stuff that's free. I'm not begging. I'm just reminding. You guys. Season went through and demonetized like 35 old videos that had to do with snap caps and Bloody Wheels grip extensions. It's like, man, I don't get it. Like instructional videos. I've literally every day I go through here and I get like 4 emails. Stuff that's been up for like a year. Demonetized. Now, what's that really mean? Really, the most important part is yeah, I won't get like the couple dollars, and it's piddly, trust me. Unless a video just blows up, it's like nothing. But no, it means shadow banned. It means no one sees it. They hide it way down below in the algorithm. So all the stuff that's running ads will get the ad clicks and views and make Susan more money. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. There must be some new algorithm, but it is getting frustrating. So I appreciate the help because this stuff costs money that I put on this channel. And I do spend it back. I put a lot of stuff on here. Wilhelm Scream, what's up? He says, I already have it queued up to watch after the fact. Cool. Brad Jackson Sr., what's up? Glad to see you on again. 2A Defender. Now I'm here. A couple people texted me. They're like, dude, you're not coming on, which I really appreciate you guys' concern. No, I'm coming on. The governor's not scared me to exercise my free speech. Why would I be afraid of that? But I was mowing grass, getting here after dark. You know, it gets dark on the last job site, which happened to be, in this case, 25 minutes from the shop. Get back, face is covered in dirt, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Yeah, I think so. BMGZ06. I don't know. I hope you're wrong, but I see it. Well, the heck, why is she trying to take our money? She's trying not to let people know what you're saying. That's what it is. That's what it is. And the super chats, though, just so you guys know, you guys will know. Like, if the whole channel gets demonetized, then I won't even be able to accept super chats. Those still come to me. YouTube does take a processing fee, but that's how it is anywhere. If you swipe your credit card at the gas station, the company takes a processing fee. So they don't take those. However, yeah, they're demonetizing, which is shadow banning. And it's all about like comments I got today. I got one earlier where someone's like, new gun owner, thank you so much. This video was teaching about holsters. It was teaching about dry firing with snap caps. They told me like how much that helped them feel comfortable with their new handgun so they can manipulate the gun in the holster with snap caps. That video was valuable to them. And you know what? It's crazy. This is like irony. It wasn't even 4 hours later and I got an email from YouTube. That very same video got demonetized, which means now it'll be very difficult for anyone to ever find that. And I think the video's been up since January and I had made $6.93 or something. It was like literally way less than $10 over 10 months on the video. Now, I probably had $50 worth of stuff in the video. You guys get what I'm saying with this. But the most important part is those videos, you'll watch it. You'll watch the views. There's a graph. The day they demonetize, you'll watch the graph. And then it's down to like practically zero, and it'll just sit there forever. A year later, I'll give you guys an example. During the first 6 months, the video may have gotten 10,000 views. Come back 6 months after it's been demonetized, it might have gotten like 80 views. So when I say shadow ban, I mean like that drastic. It'll go from 10,000 in that period to like less than 100. And that's what they do. And that's what they do. Susan Wiki is pure evil. Well, there you go. There you go. Dana said I got kicked off of Facebook for a positive message. I know. Pretty soon it's going to be like, you know how I start all my videos? Hey, guys, how's it going? They're going to put that in the algorithm. He said, how's it going? That must be really him dog whistling. Because that's their big thing they say. 2AEDU said, hey, guys, how's it going? That's dog whistling. What he really meant to say was, I wish harm on you. Demonetized, right? You know what I'm really going to get it for? He is not gender neutral. He said, hey, guys, how's it going? That's what they'll get me on. I mean, it's literally that bad. You can say, how's it going? And that probably offends people. In fact, some people get more offended than that. You know what's crazy? I'll put up the stream. Announcement. The 2AEDU stream will go live in 10 minutes. I'll usually always guaranteed at least get one, if not several, thumbs downs on it before I even came on. They already hated it before they even saw it. So there you go. There you go. Thank you, Pistol Pete. I appreciate it, man. There he is. Orion Fixer's in the house. What's happening, dude? I saw it out of the corner of my eye. Now it's gone. Rockford was, yeah, it's true. It's true. I do remember, man. I do. I mean, there's still not that many people on here. It's not like this is going to turn into the next Tim Pool or Crowder, and I don't think that'll ever happen. But no, you're right, man. A lot has changed. You said, remember when it was like 37 of us on here? I do. But you know what I also remember, which is crazy? Like, out of the original 37 people, I've at least seen out of the corner of my eye half of you in here right now, which is pretty cool. I guess all of you don't hate me yet, which that's not bad. I mean, some people are going to hate, but if you don't have any haters, you're probably not doing anything right. You know that old saying? White Space Marines has been around a while. Linda's a little bit pissed off about Eddie Van Halen. Yeah, one of the greatest rockers of all time. So, yeah, that is sad. His son said he battled for many years and lost the battle recently. Chris Plummer. Yeah, ain't that the truth? It's free speech until you piss someone off. Yeah. Yeah, say whatever you want until you piss someone off. You know what? I think you might be right on that. Is there any women in here? Let me know what you women think. I think he's right, because the women I know, strong women, the kind of woman I'm attracted to, they're not going to... Look what he says here. Apparently, lip sync women are fragile and need special treatment. That tactic will backfire. Just watch. Yeah, like if I walk into the room, which I do, with my wife and daughter, I'm like, hey guys, how you doing? You know, if my wife gets butthurt by that, I'm not attracted to that type of woman. So there you go. Just letting you guys know that. I'm not even attracted to be friends with a woman that's like that, to be quite frank. Like, come on. It's like that whole, come on, man. You know, I mean, what do you guys think? Is Ozark right? I think a lot of women kind of look at how it's kind of the opposite, right, Ozark? The left saying women are so fragile. Blah, blah, that's actually being demeaning. That is the sexist speak, okay? Just like they said, oh, Mike Pence was mansplaining. No, she's a United States senator. She put herself up on the debate stage for VP of the United States of America. First of all, I want a strong leader. If somebody's that fragile that they were even capable of being mansplained to, don't want them. They're not a strong enough leader. Even though her policies suck, just look at it just from that standpoint. What's she going to do when she's in front of Putin, President Xi, many, many others, the Ayatollah Khamenei? How do you think the Ayatollah Khamenei, how does he treat women? Being serious, you know, world leader, you have to talk to these people. You have to negotiate tough deals with these people. But they said, no, she was just a little lady. Gosh, if I was a woman, I wouldn't want that. I'm just saying. I want the extra woman to chime in, though, because they'll say, well, you're not a woman. Someone will say, well, you don't understand. You know what I mean? No. She's on the VP stage. If Mike Pence had better words than her and he was able to command the stage and all she did is sat there with that maniacal grin, it looked just like the one that Hillary had, if you asked me. That's her own darn fault. Has nothing to do with it. And I think most women would find the same thing. Most women I know, at least the good ones, the patriots, the ones that love the Constitution, all those women that I know, they want a strong leader. So, yeah. Yeah, and she gave attitude. She got what Pence did. I'm just saying. She's a Karen on steroids, you guys are saying? Yeah. Alger Sola, I probably mispronounced your name. Sorry, said my wife ain't fragile. Look, now you guys know I do believe in treating a lady like a lady. I am old-fashioned, you know. Look. There's times to step up and be the man of the house and do stuff that, quite frankly, you wouldn't want your wife to have to do. There's something heavier. You're twice the strength of her. I get it, guys. I'm not trying to say we're the same. All I meant is intellectually. Who cares if she's a woman or not? She chose to get on the stage. She's running for VP. Mansplaining? I mean, I think you guys know where I'm heading with this. It's completely ridiculous. Dana Goog says I'm a strong woman. Did you think Kamala was... Did you like the little lady treatment that the left wanted her to have? Let me ask you. I don't think so. That's not what I would want. It's like, well, duh. Of course, we know there's differences between the two sexes. Of course, right? There's two genders in this country. There's male and there's female. And there's big differences, but it has nothing to do with, oh, well, just let the little lady get by with her lying and stuff. Oh, man, that would tick me off. All right, I'm done with this. I'm ranting on it. But, yeah, that debate, that maniacal grin that she had, that was just kind of like, ugh. It reminded me so much of Hillary. So, JB and Water 2, way worse than you're saying. You're downplaying it. They, her, is trying to get rid of channels like this. Well, yeah, dude. Well, yeah. Gary Wisner says that, yeah, when they thumbs down before you start the stream, you know you're doing things right. Absolutely. Rob Michael, firearms channels are an excellent educational resource. I try to do a lot of education. And thanks, Rockford. I appreciate the super chat, man. He just said for all you do. Well, thank you for what you're doing too. And you put out some good educational videos yourself. And I appreciate that, man. Just so you guys know, a lot of you guys' channels in here that I shout out that I like, I watch your videos, and I'm usually using my Bluetooth. I need to start leaving some more comments and saying hi to you guys. But a lot of what I do is I listen. I listen to them. I have my little pouch in my mower. I'll start the video. I'll listen to it. I like them when they're longer usually. That's just my thing when I'm mowing grass. So I don't have to get down there and change the track. 'Cause, you know, Yeah, I'll start playing it. I'll put it in my pouch with my Peltors, and I'll listen to it with the Bluetooth. I watch a lot of you guys' stuff. I do. Even though you might not see me in the comments due to the nature that I'm using my hands. Sometimes I'll be working, tools, whatever. And I'll just have my phone kind of propped up over here. I'll listen every once in a while. I'll be like, Rockford has a pretty cool 8K. And then I'll go over and look for a minute, and then listen. Do you guys do that too? Look, you can't please everyone. Just so you guys know this, people with new channels. I'm not going to be able to give you a lot of advice. I'm not an expert, but I'll tell you this. You just have to have fun and do what you want. Because you know what I'll have happen? I'll have people come in and I'll put out a 40-minute video and they'll say, what the heck is wrong with you? You're terrible. I mean, people are mean. They are mean people. I get dozens of things every day that are just mean, just people making fun of me. They make fun of the way I talk. They make fun of the way I look. Anything you can think of, literally. These are mean people, and they are, and I get it, okay? And they'll say, 40 minutes, what's wrong with you? You could have had everything. You could have said it all in 30 seconds. And then I'll put out a 5-minute video because that's what I felt like doing. And people will be like, man, when are you going to do another 40-minute video again? Because I always listen to you. You pass the time, they'll say, during my lunch break, some people will say. Other people say when they're also cutting grass, right? Other people will say, I commute. It's an hour drive each way. And when I see a 40-minute video of yours, awesome, because now I know it's the same thing. They don't want to switch tracks in traffic, so they can just start it when they leave their garage, and they pretty much got them all the way to work. You can't please them all, guys. And yeah, I like it when people like my videos, of course. Like, I'm a human being, but when they hate them and it's vitriol and nasty, I don't really care. You have no choice. You have no choice but just to stop caring about some of these people. And this is advice I'm giving some of the new people. These are internet people. This is their persona. This is their hatred. This is them trying to use all their shortcomings in life. I get it. Someone picked on them on the school bus, and it wasn't right. And if I would have been there, I would have stuck up for them and tried to stop it. I really would have. I don't like bullies. Okay, I grew up with red hair. I got picked on for the color of my hair. Whatever. Doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? None of that matters, but I get it. They were picked on. And it sucks, but I didn't do it. So they come into my video and they make fun of the way I talk. Maybe they make fun of the way some of you guys talk. And they'll make fun of my looks. Some people will say, your beard's not long enough. The next one will come in and say, you're not clean shaven enough. One person says, if I had a dog as ugly as you, I'd shave its butt and teach it to walk backwards. It's true. Look, if you do what you want to do, and if there's one person that likes it, and that's just you, if you like your videos and maybe one other person watches them and they like it, is it worth it? Answer that for yourself. But just because people sit there and want to make fun of you and be mean to you, who cares? They don't matter. You have to look at it that way. And I don't mean to sound hypocritical. Yes, people matter. We should love everybody, but you can't really care about this person on the other end of their keyboard. Keyboard commando, clickety-clack, clickety-clack. Who cares? They're miserable. Maybe if you met them in real life, maybe there's a nice person deep down inside, but you just can't care. You can't dwell on that. You can't let it add up. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be some people that like what you do and some people that don't. And it seems like I go around to some of these smaller YouTube channels. And you guys have got a lot of balls. Shout out to you guys. And there'll be people in there saying the meanest things. Now, the really big channels, like the ones that have 1 million subscribers, they don't even read their comments. Or if they do, they don't have time to respond. I shouldn't say they don't read. Maybe they do. I don't know. But you don't see the channel owner in there much when they have like 1 million subs, right? But you'll see all their supporters dogpiling the person. But man, I'll see somebody out there that they just put up their 4th video. And there's someone in there just making fun of the way they talk. And they're just nasty to these people. And it's sad because sometimes I never even see these people do videos anymore. And I've seen people do their videos. You guys have too, where they're like, this is the last video I've ever going to do because I'm just miserable and they bullied me too much and I can't take it anymore. And I'm trying to offer encouragement to all you guys. I'm a small channel too. So all of us small channels, and especially if yours is smaller than mine, who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You should honor your mother and father so that your days will be long upon this earth. That's what the Bible says. You should honor your wife, your children. Your children should honor you. You're going to have some close friends. My dad said this once, and I think it's true. He said, if you can meet this many good friends, if you could fill up one hand of people that are truly your friends no matter what and keep them, you're very, very lucky. So now, does that mean that you're only going to like 5 people? No, but at the same time, who cares? You've got your best friends. You got all your internet buds, because there's like a couple hundred of my buds hanging out in here with me right now, and you guys are cool as heck. Are you kidding me? If it wasn't for this stupid dramatization of this Kung Flu from China, I was actually going to have a little get-together for all of us to hang out, and I still want to get together with maybe a couple of the real local guys before it gets too cold. You guys are cool. I like you guys, but man, you guys just need to keep your heads up, because it's only going to keep getting worse for a while here. People are going to be divisive. But yeah, unless you're doing anything wrong, don't apologize to them. If you're doing something wrong, whatever, don't do it anymore. Duh. Your parents taught you right from wrong, I hope, I assume. Some of you weren't fortunate enough to have good parents, and I get that too. I was lucky enough to have great parents, but your parents taught you right from wrong. You taught yourself. Somebody else did, but if you're at this point in life, you've had the opportunity to learn right from wrong. And if you're doing right, just do your thing, okay? Who cares? I hope that encourages somebody, but I see it. I see it so much. It makes me sick, but I don't care. Gary Weisner, only ones you need to make happy is wife and God. Yes, in that order. There you go. Politically independent. Who cares what others say or think? Just be you. Yes, and I already know this, guys. I don't need the pep talk, but put the encouragement in there, because there's people out there, and they may not even have a YouTube channel. It's just wherever they're at. You know what I'm saying? They're social media, and they might need that encouragement, because I've seen people do bad things to themselves, and I've seen people just delete their channel. They spent hundreds of hours of their life, and it was all gone the next day. Throat punch. It says, do not fear 365 times in the Bible. Wow, that's encouraging. I did not have the number, but wow. I'm going to get off in just a minute. I've been on for 2 hours, guys. I've enjoyed hanging out with you for sure. I appreciate the super chats, and most of all, I appreciate you guys telling your friends about the channel, because Susan, every time she demonetizes, she's basically saying it's going to be that much harder to get another 2A EDU friend. And I see out of the corner of my eyes, guys, I just can't keep up. You guys do realize that. There's way more of you than me, but I see enough out of the corner of my eyes that you guys are having a lot of fun talking to each other. So, yeah, if you know good people that you think you'd have a good time with hanging out on this stream or my other videos, just let them know. Arlie Lucas, your vids on the G2C Taurus lineup are great. You know what I have for you and all the other Taurus fans out there? I realized I lost some files. I had a hard drive crash. I realized that my G2C versus G3C video, because here's the crazy part. You do the video, you remember doing it. I did the video, guys. It was lost on that hard drive. I need to re-record it. I never did a Taurus G2C versus G3C video. I did it, but it's gone. So that's coming up soon. You know what else I thought of this? This is a novel concept, but I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. Hopefully somebody else agrees, because even if all of you disagree, I'm still going to do it, because I got to have fun. I'm going to do a Taurus collection video. I've got a couple of revolvers, one of which I don't think you guys have ever seen before. I just want to basically get them all out on the table here and go through them all. So that's something coming up. The Lakeline threaded barrel follow-up video. That's recorded. It's uploaded to YouTube right now. Unlisted, already demonetized before it even made its way to the public. That'll be coming out soon. So I think you guys will enjoy that. Victor Miller had to work tonight. So happy to catch you live. Cool, man. I really enjoy these 2A EDU dad talks. You really put yourself out there. Hey, I'm putting myself out there, and here's why. First of all, I like hanging out with you guys. I don't just say that. It's true. Second of all, I'm not doing anything wrong. There's nothing for me to be ashamed of. I'm talking about the Constitution. I'm talking about the government. And here's what I want to leave with this. I'm going to leave you guys with this, because this is something I did want to cover tonight. And here's something I want to encourage you guys to do, okay? There's many things you can do. I'm going to say allegedly, probably. Look, people are going to say, oh, he's making light of it. He said allegedly. No, I believe in due process. Allegedly, people plan very bad things for the governor. I disavow, I condemn, I would encourage all of you strongly to not ever do anything like that. Okay? I don't believe in kidnapping people. Yeah, there's the government. Yeah, there's our duty to be citizens and be patriots. But you know what? Look, I don't care. Freedom of religion, First Amendment. I respect that. In my case, my God, the Christian God, God's not going to be happy with that. I don't think that's ever okay to do it in that manner. Disavow. But you can fight back against your government. And here's what I've done. I'm not telling you guys this is what you should do, but here's what I've done. I've done things like this. Before the channel, during the channel, and even if Susan gets rid of the channel tomorrow, after the channel, if that's ever the case. Hope it's not, because I really miss you all. But if somebody said they'll probably be getting rid of all the gun channels soon. So I'm telling you guys my personal morals. No, I know what's right from wrong, but I will tell you this. I've been from day one. I go to the Capitol. Okay? I'm in touch with my Michigan representative. Okay? My Michigan senator. I go out and advocate for pro Second Amendment candidates because I love all of our rights, but the Second Amendment is the one that I just choose to focus on the most, even though lately I've had to talk about the First Amendment and 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, all of them, because they're all under attack, it seems. I've gone out, I've interviewed people running for office. You guys remember when my friend Mike Detmer was on here, running for the primary for Michigan's 8th Congressional District. This is the Second Amendment guy, guys. I'm getting behind him. I want him in the United States Congress for the Second Amendment. That's something I've done. Now, when Mike lost the primary to Paul Young, you'll also see in my Facebook group and other people's groups that have shared it, right? The 2A Patriot group, for example. You'll see me sitting there not too long ago in a little interview with Paul Young, who is the person that won the primary and is now running for Michigan's 8th U.S. Congressional District. I asked him tough questions on the Second Amendment about where our rights come from. I did that. Also, Bob Bazat running for Michigan's 47th District for the State House. I've asked him questions. My friend Rick Nieper, former candidate. He lost in the primary. Still my friend, former candidate. That's what I do. I sign the petitions. I get behind the, Unlock Michigan, Restore Freedom initiative. I had a constitutional lawyer on my channel just the other day talking about all of this. I did a video with that same lawyer, Catherine Henry, in Flint, Michigan, when we were there together to drum up some more signatures for the petition. I get on here and I call out the tyranny of the governor as I perceive it and as, in my opinion, defined by Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Now, the governor's going to get on here and she's going to say, well, it's the president's fault. It's your fault if you're politically active. I don't think so. Now, I'm not going to speak for all of the people the alleged criminals, right? I'm not going to speak for them because I don't know them. But the one video I saw, he looked like he was left-wing, probably. Definitely not a Trump supporter, was pretty obvious. Pretty darn obvious, right? So, yeah. I expect you guys to keep fighting. If you guys don't think that there's anybody out there that would represent you or the people around you as well as yourself, I encourage you all to run for office. There's a novel concept. Seen it happen, guys. I've seen it happen with success, sometimes without success, but I've seen it happen. I encourage you guys to go to your state capitol lawns. I always go there peacefully. I'll tell you what, on April 30th, that day that I said we were out there making a bunch of noise so the legislature could hear us, we didn't want them to vote. You know what I did that day? I got there early before the rally technically started, and I walked in there, and I found my state representative, Joe Bellino. And I found him in the hallway, and we talked. And I said, I do not want you to vote to extend. He said, okay, not like, okay, I'll do what you said, but yeah, I heard you. Yep. I said, it's not my will. It's not the will of many people. We want this to be a joint effort. We want the legislature involved. We don't want you to hand this over to her for unilateral rule. But that's what I did. I went in there, started off the day talking to my state representative, one-on-one, socially distanced, 6 feet apart. We were going by. That's what the guidelines were at the time. We were doing that to be respectful. We talked. Okay. He went in and voted while I was out there screaming and yelling for them to not vote to extend. And they didn't. And then I did video footage of it and reported it back to you guys to let you guys know what's going on. That's what I do to help. Everybody's going to have their own way. Speaking out against the governor that you don't agree with is not a bad thing. Obviously, you guys have common sense. If there was ever a direct threat or a plot or a plan to actually do something, that's when you start crossing over into criminal. You guys can decide where that line is for yourself because it's all hypotheticals and I'm not a lawyer. But at the same time, that's what I've been doing, okay? Trying to get some good people in office. I'm still trying to keep this republic together. You know, he said, if you can keep it. Franklin didn't say, I want you just to abolish it. He said, if you can keep it. Like the goal was for us to try to keep this republic. We're a representative republic. That's what the United States of America is. And I let my representatives, senators, you know, state level, national level, I let them know what my will is. I'm even involved in my local township elected officials, public servants. Monroe County, you guys have seen me do interviews. Remember when I had Greg Moore Jr., Monroe County Commissioner, 2A sanctuary counties, Monroe, then 2A sanctuary counties, Livingston, where Bob Bazat running for Michigan's 47th. He's a county commissioner that now I believe is going to advocate for the Second Amendment in Lansing, and that's why I'm out there talking to him. That's what I do, guys. That's what I do, and that's where my fight is, you know, in this. But for them to say that all gun owners and all people that support Trump, that they're in on what a handful of bad people allegedly did, that's false. It's not true, okay? I don't know if what they did is true or not because I believe in due process. But even if it does come to light that, yes, they did everything they're accused of, they have their full due process, that still has nothing to do with what we're doing because we're not doing anything wrong. At least I'm not. And I bet you 99.9% of you guys aren't either. I'm going to go real quick and read something for you guys, and I'm going to get off of here. Because it's past some people's bedtimes, including probably mine, technically. This is called the Declaration of Independence in Congress, July 4th, 1776. They call it the 4th of July, right? Independence Day. Well, that's why. July 4th, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with one another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the cause which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. 2. Whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate the governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind is more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted in a candid world. Then they go through and they make the case. They make the case, and you guys should read the rest of this, but I'm not gonna in the interest of time. They make the case of all the things that the king did. So that's the founding documents. People like Gretchen and other people are going to say the words in these documents are radical. They're going to call you things like right wing if you actually were to believe something that's written, that's been written on parchment for all these years, and that is basically only there if we can keep it, as Benjamin Franklin said. But no, these founding documents aren't radical. They're only radical to people who are un-American and don't want this country to still be this great experiment of self-governance. They're only radical if you believe them that this is radical. There's nothing wrong with the founding documents, and I'm going to stand by them. And the founding fathers called it out. There's a whole list of grievances they have against the king of that time. And I believe there's some very wise words in here. Everyone reads the very first part, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, endowed by their creator. And that's a very important part. I would never, ever make light of that. But what's interesting in here is that they talk about that, and accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind is more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when that long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right and their duty to throw off such government, to provide new guards for their future security. Look, these guys are all dead and gone. They've been gone for a long time. Of course, we need to guard our freedom. We need to guard our liberty. And being patriotic is not something to be ashamed of. When these men signed this Declaration of Independence, they signed a death sentence. It was called traitors, punishable by death. They signed it and they won. And the reason why this is history and this is still here is because we were on the good side of history. Because I'll tell you what, as great as these words are, you do know that if the founding fathers, the patriots, the first Americans is what they became, if they would have lost the war, we wouldn't have this document. This would have been burned. It would have been gone. So history gets written by the winners, and they did win. It seems there's people right now that want to get rid of all this. And I definitely agree when they say we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal and they're endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. So we need to keep our rights. Seeing a lot of political rhetoric. There's a lot of gun control coming up right now being proposed by, in my case, the other side, because I'm certainly no Democrat. By the way, can't stand most of the Republican Party either, quite frankly. But I find myself finding the good ones, and if they can get behind the Second Amendment, which is what I focus on this channel, I try to bring them to you guys' attention. There are some people out there that still do believe shall not be infringed means only one thing, and will still vote as such. We need those people in office. Because I'll tell you what, man. They talk about all this stuff in here, and it looks great in a movie, but I've talked to people that were brave war fighters that have served in wars, many wars going back in the decades. Some of them are old. Some of you guys are still young. And, man, most people that have fought in wars don't want another war. I think right now we need to really, really look at this election. Don't be afraid to vote. Vote your conscience. I'm not going to tell you guys how to vote, but I'm telling you what. The Second Amendment and the freedom of this country is on the line in the next election. There's no question about it. And I'm going to remind you guys of that just next week when I read to you the nearly dozen pages of gun control that the Harris-Biden administration, with the gun czar Beto O'Rourke, are promising that they'll put in office, that they'll put in if they get elected into office. We think this ammo shortage sucks now. They're going to tax our ammo. They're going to tax. They're going to tax. They're going to ban. They're going to buy it back. Just a little teaser of what I'm going to talk about next week. Because evil prevails when good men say nothing. I'm not particularly good, but I'm sure can see evil when I see it. All right. And I'm not going to just let it sit there and prevail and say nothing. I'll tell you guys that. You guys need to know what they're trying to do. All right. Well, I hope you guys had a good night tonight. I don't know. Maybe some of my topic was a little bit doom and gloom, but it shouldn't be that way. This should be encouraging. I want you guys to all be happy, and I just want you guys to keep your country. I want you guys to keep these founding principles. And there's a lot of rhetoric going on right now. Tons of it. Tons of it. I just have an opinion like everybody else. You guys can agree with it. You guys cannot agree with it. I'll never tell you what to do. But I'll tell you what, if you care about your God-given rights and the Second Amendment, it's on the ballot. I'll tell you that much. There's a lot of stuff on the ballot right now. Stuff's not too fun to pay attention to, but I guess I'll pay attention to it, and I'll read the 12 pages of Biden gun control next week so you guys don't have to, all right? And let me check this real quick here. Gary Wisner, next week's show is going to trigger me, LOL. Oh, I'm sure I'm going to trigger someone. Hold on, where's Tap Rack and Roll at? Hold on, 136. Wow. Well, I hope you guys like the channel. If not, I'll get 136 thumbs downs. But no, give her some encouragement. Give all your other friends that are, starting new channels encouragement, because we need each other. We need as many of us as we can be, because we're only one Susan click away at any given moment in time, right? All right, I appreciate you hanging out with you guys tonight. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Larry Olson, thank you. He says, hit that like button. I appreciate it, man. Wilhelm Scream, I care about our Constitution and the founding principles, and I will vote accordingly. You guys are all going to have to vote accordingly. Someone said, vote early, vote often. No, we're not the Democrats. Just vote early. Rod Brown said, vote early. So there you go. Listen to Rod Brown. We don't vote often. We just vote. Now, there might be some good Democrats in here. They're going to get mad. He said Democrats. Whatever. I can mess with you guys a little bit if I want. Victor Miller, he's offering encouragement to a lot of you guys here. He says, some folks have no idea how important work they're doing helps. And I agree with you, man. A lot of these are good people in here that are doing a lot. So keep up the work, guys. And I appreciate your encouragement, Victor, and all of you. Very encouraging chat tonight. I'll have time to, look through it a little bit later. Brad Jackson Sr., nice seeing you, man. Daniel DeLeon, of course. A-Dubs, what's happening, man? IROC SS85. Nada 16, G25B. Keep smiling. All right. I'll do it. Gary Wisner says vote in person. I'm going to too. There's some good independents. Look, guys, I don't care. It's just the old saying. The Democrats, vote early, vote often. I think you guys get the joke. That may be true. What's up, Josh Benware? I'm just getting ready to say goodbye, but good to see you here, man. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to check the chat. I probably missed awesome comments. I'll read it later. If I miss someone's super chat, trust me, not greedy. I appreciate all donations to the channel. It's goofy. It skips. I need to hire someone for the huge salary of absolutely free to sit here eventually and help me manage these chats. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And you guys will see me in the meantime. I've got some video uploads coming up. But until then, I'll see you guys next Friday. All right, thanks for watching, and have a good one.